Hey everyone, Rob LaFond here. And it's great to be here. I'm in my studio in Laureles, Medellin. I feel very comfortable here. I just got it all set up. I got my podcast studio where I make music, where I edit videos. And I wanted to make a segment called Better Late Than Never. I've been making a lot of content just about Medellin and different things about that, but I also wanted to branch out. I want to make videos about masculinity, men's health, dating, other parts of life that are also interesting and that I really study a lot. I'm really interested in psychology and just different ways of living. And it's interesting. I've been thinking about it a lot lately. I'm 45 and I've always wanted to really put myself out there making videos. I'm an audiovisual producer, so I made content for a lot of people's channels for many years. And, I documented my life, but very little, to be honest with you. I could have done a lot more. And I want to show the process as I grow, in this age of my life. I feel a lot of my life that I was kind of behind the beam, that I was behind in everything, financially, with dating. And to be honest with you, I am like a late bloomer. In a lot of ways, I kind of started a lot of things late in life. And in my earlier years, I partied a lot. I just did a lot of, messing around, to be honest with you. I wasn't focused. I think that's pretty common. But it's funny, I actually moved out to Medellin and became more focused. So a city that many people think is like a party city or something like that, I came here to get more focused, and that's what happened to me. So it's interesting. I want to talk about that because a lot of people say, you're moving to Medellin to escape, or something like that. But I came not to escape, but to really focus in and live my life. And Medellin has really allowed that to me. And I feel like I'm really now hitting this era of my life where I'm actually really focusing in. And the thing I think you get in your 40s now, like I said, I'm 45, is that you tried a lot of things. So in a lot of ways you think, okay, I'm getting older and this didn't happen, that didn't happen. And I can go back and say, I regret all these things that I didn't do, or I wish I did things a different way. But in another way, I tried a lot of things and I realized what I don't like, and I know what I do like. I'm getting very clear on that. I've been very clear on that, and I'm getting more and more clear as I get older. And I just spend less time being like, someone invites me to do something, or there's something going on, and like, do you want to do this? I'm like, not really. I don't like that. I don't like to be out that late at night. I'm realizing in my older years now that I like to get up early, get to the gym, and I like to be in bed by 9 or 10 o'clock. The sun rises here in Medellin like 5, 6, around 6, maybe a little earlier, and it sets around 6 all year round. So if you actually get yourself in a good routine, and you go to sleep by 9 or 10, you're waking up with the sun. You get the full day. You get to take advantage of the full day, and then you can have a little bit of nighttime, relax time, and go to sleep. Last night I did some meditation. I've had my gallery space for many years, so it's like I've been always out doing things. And I think it's also good to have intentional time where you're on your own, when you're in your house. I have my house set up really nice, how I like it. My apartment has all the stuff, my musical instruments. It's very comfortable. And I have stuff where I can watch TV, podcasts, documentaries, the stuff that I really enjoy. And I'm really dialing into what I actually love. And the other thing that's happened to me is my dating life has really expanded. So some people say you didn't have a family, you didn't do this by that age. You're going to be if you want to have a family, you're going to be like an old dad and all this stuff. But I actually don't know if I believe in that, because, I'm actually glad where I'm at in my life. I did miss some things in my 20s and 30s. I never did that. I think since the way that I was living, I never had that dating lifestyle in the 20s and 30s that I guess many people have, where you just okay, I'm going to go around dating, and then see what I like, and then kind of choose one, and then have a family life with them for a while. I didn't do that. And so, some people say I'm missing out because I'd be old for my kids, but I actually feel like I'm much more responsible, much more centered. So if I had kids like now or a little bit in a couple of years, I would be very like, present, a lot more present than I was, 5 or 10 years ago. So I think that's actually a good thing, just from the experiences that I've had, and that I would actually choose something that I really want, because before I was kind of trying things, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted. Call that, maybe I wasn't mature enough at the time, but it is what it is, and I'm getting there now. So it's better late than never, and I'm choosing to spend my time in my career. I've had a career already. I've had a career in production. I worked out in Hollywood, at NPR, at SpaceX, video production companies, doing photo shoots, all these different things that I've done, all this experience that I've had. I was even an extra in a Jackie Chan movie. I've done so many things that my life, it seems strange. I've done musical performances all over Los Angeles. I had my songs on the radio a bit. I've had a lot of different life. It's like, I was talking to my friend, it was like, interesting. Any piece of my life would be maybe someone's full life. And for me, it's like I've had all these different areas, and now I'm here in Medellin. I got here 8.5 years ago, so I was like 36 or 37, and a lot of people, wait till they retire to move out of their principal country, and I did it in my 30s, and so I've had all this time and experience here in Medellin, and I tried all these things, open businesses, and some of it successful, some of it really successful, some of it I failed in certain areas, but I learned, and I learned what I like to do and where I enjoy spending my time. And so I just want to say, better late than never. What do people think about that? What's your experience? I want you to share this with someone that maybe can use this video, because it's never too late to live your dreams. I still want to do many things. I want to travel. I've been to Asia. I want to go to different places to Asia. I want to go to Africa. I like to hike Mount Kilimanjaro. There's a lot of things that I would like to do. I would like to have a family, and you'll be able to see this as long as I continue, which I believe I will, on my YouTube channel, these changes in my life and how I've done it at this age. So I want to see, what do you think? Do you think it's too late to do things, or do you still have time? I believe there's always time to do what you want. I want to do certain things with my music. I think there's things left out. I've stopped playing music since I've closed my business in December, and it's now February. I played last night a little bit, and I had all these dreams of becoming a musician and doing all these things, and I did a lot of it. Actually played out a lot. I could have probably gone after my dream a lot more if at the time when I was young, I could have saying like, I really want to do this, and that's the time to go after it. And I believe that is true for certain things. Like, I cannot be an NBA star now. Like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be an NBA star, but then I stopped playing in high school, and that's not possible now. But there's still things that are possible. Like, I could still play my music, have it online, have people who enjoy my music, maybe play some shows or some festivals, here in Medellin or even beyond. That would be a great dream of mine. And it's not about, I think it used to be for me about ego. Like, I wanted to do it because I wanted to be like the best, or I wanted to like make a mark. But I think now where I'm coming at things is less of ego and more of like, this is my passion. This is how I feel. This is my perspective. I want to share that with people. And also, I have a unique view on things. I believe grew up in an age, I started making digital music at the time when like computers were really like expanding. So me and my friends were working, and at the time when the first digital recording computers were really coming out. So I kind of saw the age of analog to digital, and now everything's happening with AI, which everyone's scared about, but it's also an opportunity, because I believe, I have some vintage machines here, and I think it's a time where people actually want to go back and hear things that actually sound natural. I like doing a lot of things with AI. I even use it for my scripts and a lot of tools for my businesses, which I think is great. But I think it's also a time where it's like people want to get out, they want to see people in person, they want to date in person. I believe in getting to know people in person. I'm not a big fan of the dating apps or any of that stuff. I think it's a time where it's like you can kind of have a renaissance where you go back and you actually like the stuff of the older ages. Like I grew up, my mom she's a huge fan of like antiques and stuff like that. I have stuff in my gallery here in my house. I have a refrigerator from the 50s. That thing is like a tank. It's not like the stuff that you buy today. It's like, it still works like 75 years later, the same. And so I think there could be a renaissance where people will go back into like, seeing the importance of meeting people in person, of really making really organic music. And so I really want to be a part of that movement where you make things in real life and you experiment with sounds, and where you meet people in real life and talk to people and show vulnerability. I think that's what happens, is like we're not all machines, right? We're not just going to all become robots. There's this humanness to us. That's why I like making these videos this way. I've made a lot of videos where I'm an audiovisual producer, and I've tried to make these kind of fancy videos where they're all edited together and I sound perfect, and I edit out the ums and the ahs, and every time I say I know I say that a lot. I'm working on it. But there's also this humanness to these videos that I'm making now. It's just organic. I have kind of an idea of what I want to talk about, and then I just go on these topics, and hopefully you all see value out of it. You learn something, it adds something to your life or inspires you to do something. That's what I'm hoping. And I've let go of the perfection. I've started just being like, okay, I'll put on a decent shirt, sometimes not, and I get my studio light on and the camera and the audio decent, and I'll make a video. And people may relate to it or may not. And that's okay with me. It's like, it could go and get a lot of views, a lot of comments, or it could just fall flat on YouTube, and that's okay. I can keep on experimenting and trying things. I want to know what do you all think? What do you think of this format of video? What do you think about the topics that I'm talking about? What do you want to hear more about? I would like to get more into, I guess, men's health and dating. I'm really passionate about meeting people organically, building a social life. I've done that in Medellin, and I'm going to begin to build a bigger social life again. And so I would like to document that. And I would like to show people like how you can date healthy. I've heard a lot of things. There's all this stuff in Medellin where people are having issues with dating and they can't meet the right people. But I think, I've learned a lot from just trial and error, and also just experience that like you have to do things in the correct way, in the right form, and then you'll get different results. And I'd like to help people with that. If you need help with that, contact me on Instagram at Rob LaFond, also LaFond Social. And I would like to help people build their life, build their social life, and build their dating life, to be honest with you. I have a lot of experience dating in Latin America, and I really enjoy it. I built this really good life here, and I would like to have other people who build great lives here. And if I can be of any service or help to that, please let me know. Oh yeah, the other one thing I want to talk about is getting your physical life in order. And actually, it's funny, I was like super athletic up until my teenage years, and then I became like this music guy, and I never really got physically super fit. I never got to my capacity or to the top that I could at that time. I mean, I stayed decent, and then some years I actually put on some extra weight and I lost it, and I actually smoked cigarettes for a while, and a bunch of different stuff. But I want to say that like also 45 is not too late, or 55, like my friend Scotty, to hit your top like physical, the top of your physical abilities. Like I've been going to the gym now 4 to 5 days a week, and doing a hike, and then sometimes even jogging. Like I'm doing exercise between 4 to 7 times a week, to be honest with you. And I would like to get to that top, level where I feel like I'm like really top for my age, Like I don't need to be like the best or whatever, but I just want to feel very physically fit for being 45. I want to be able to bench a good amount, to do a good amount of pull-ups, to be able to jog, and just feel very physically fit. I had some like shoulder injuries and stuff like that from playing basketball, this mild stuff, and I'm getting through that. And I just want to say that like it is possible in your older age to get like super physically fit, and sometimes it's even more necessary. Like now that I'm getting older, I'm like, I need to be on it. Like before I kind of could let it go because I was just young, but now it's like, okay, now it's really necessary to get super fit. And it's not only physical, but it's mental. and I go to the gym, do a bunch of pull-ups, I have a whole routine. And, I'm not trying to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm not trying to be the biggest bodybuilder or anything like that, but I just want to be like slim, like, good muscle mass and in good shape. And I think that's something else you'll see in my videos, moving forward, since I've already had some consistency, that you'll see like, oh wow, you can see the progress. And I want you to be able to see that, the people who are watching, and that it is possible, right? Because you can go from this like kind of middle weight, like I wasn't fat, I wasn't skinny, I wasn't in great shape, I was like okay, to being in really good shape, like this kind of like musician type of body type that's like decent but not terrible, to being someone that's like, hey, you look at him, he's like, wow, this guy's super fit, looks super good. And you have to accept some things like, I'm losing my hair, which is something that I didn't want to have happen to me. I might do something about that in the next upcoming year or so. But it's like there's like one thing or another. It's like they say unos por otros, and in Spanish, it's like you get one thing, you lose another. So that's okay. It's like, but I'm having to accept certain things where I'm like, okay, I can be certain fit, but I'm never gonna be like that young blonde guy, full head of hair that I was. I'm have a different style. But there's also like, as long as you're, okay with that and comfortable with that and confident in that part of your life, it's good. That's what people resonate with, and that's what people understand. So I just wanted to make that extra little segment there, and I hope people got something out of it. Again, follow me on Instagram, Rob LaFond, and then LaFond Social for social events and some other information about Medellin, just my life in general, or the life growing, and the topics that I'm talking about here on this YouTube channel. And I love you all, and I hope to see you soon in the city of Eternal Spring, or online, or somewhere else traveling around the world. So ciao for now. Thanks again.